there are a lot of champions that are very strong in a solo queue environment. So like we haven't seen much set, but he's strong because he can have that back and forth in a team fight. We're not going to see someone like Alawi. I like Alawi, but I don't expect to see very much Alawi in competitive tournaments because she can't impact that team fight as well. So I would like to see champs like the one who comes to mind is Ivern, but maybe not Ivern in the jungle. Just because he's got that division in the team fight. But yeah, I'll think about that. Ask me again on the next pregame, and we'll
got it. Chat, remind me to remind Shazbot. He's going to tell us some mystery champions he wants to see. But enough about that. We have Team Unknown versus Poro-Snax up on the screen. We've got some nice bans coming out here. That is Yorick, Amumu, and Samira banned away from the Poro-Snax, and Mundo and Kindred taken away from Team Unknown.
Kindred is an interesting one. I think we saw one game with Kodo Draco with where he performed a very good Kindred, but it still seems like an odd selection to say. Oh man, no one can remember anything now. The chat is throwing me off my kilter, but the Kindred ban is a strange one, is what I'm trying to say.
So already we have three things we need to talk about. First of all, bad guy Teemo instead of good guy Griffin. I appreciate that. I think that is hilarious. Number two, picking the Senna. That wasn't in our last draft. I thought we were going to get 100%. But third thing, the Kled Shazbot. That's one of the champions that isn't played all that often that I think is a riot to see.
Absolutely, because he's either not going to be very impactful in the game or he's going to be the biggest terror on the map. That ultimate is hugely impactful. Talk about Sivir ult on steroids. This is just a fun champion to see. Certainly. But yes, Enchanter Senna is now online. She got through the
did it
ban, and he locks in Teemo. Okay. We have a game of League of Legends on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
So where is the Teemo gonna go? It's gotta be bad guy Teemo, right? That's why the name changed. That's where that's gonna go.
I guess so.
You have to imagine.
The Kled Teemo matchup, I think Kled comes out on top of that. Obviously, no one likes to play against Teemo. He's such a heavy poke champion, but I think Kled is supposed to come out on top.
With the extra health from Skarl and the extra damage he can deal with his bear chop on a rope, I agree with you. There's no reason for Kled not to win that matchup, especially with all the healthy builds early. I'm loving this draft already, Shazbot.
No kidding. We have 3 supports on Team Unknown side, and we have some beefy champions on Poro-Snax side. This is the kind of stuff that, like, as Teemo, like, you're already building Leandries, but it's just all the sweeter when you have Leandries. Brand's such a big, impactful team fight champion. Poro-Snax is got their drafting skills together. At least getting me excited again for another game.
What I really like is the synergies that they're able to throw in, despite the Sejuani Ice and Brand Fire dis-synergy. Kled is another one of the champions that enables tanks, right? So Sejuani has her Arctic Assault to get close, but other than that, she just has to absorb damage. And so with the charge, that's another way to get her close, and Kled can help proc the permafrost
extremely quickly with his W. Those rapid strikes are a quick tool for that stun. And very excellent to see, something that I might need to write down for my own games because I play both of those champions. But no carries yet on either team yet, so the bans are what we're seeing. The Smolder instantly picked. Smolder is a relatively new one for PLC.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be really good, and I also believe that the brand is going to stay with Trash Lord. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to go. Is Trash Lord is going to stay with the brand, and then we're maybe. But regardless, the Smolder is very exciting, especially when going against the Vayne from Calavir. Oh my goodness.
Vayne and Calavir are two things you don't want to hear in the same sentence on the enemy team. Like,
No.
Calavir is already a scary guy. Give him resets on his ultimate. Nope, no thank you. So,
But
go ahead.
I still want. I keep pivoting away from it because something else exciting happens, like locking in a sit. These are all champions that I don't remember seeing recently. So thank you, Team Unknown. You're amazing. But I still want to talk about Smolder because this champion goes from a liability in the early game to a problem in mid game to a terror in the late game. And so if Poro-Snax can, I like this. I like that lock in. If they can keep the Smolder safe, they have this huge amount of damage and this huge engage that they can really put Team Unknown to test.
Yeah, you see Poro-Snax team, and of course Smolder is a scaling champion. But even without the Smolder, I look at their team and I say that is a team that if they can survive to 10 minutes, they're going to do good. If they can not let things fall apart too early, they could really cause some damage. I really want to see Blitzcrank was very gutsy. I want to see Lux hold her roots to stop engages. Team Unknown is a very slippery team right now. We're not really seeing too much of a front line. Obviously, we have the Maokai, but most of their survivability is going to be in dodging CC is to not overcommit. So as a Lux, as two heavy engaged tanks with some heavy CC, this is the moments where if they can just kind of hold back, if they can bide their time, Poro-Snax could come in with some heavy swings, which is of course why we see cleanse on Vayne.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? You've got the pullback from the Kled, you've got the stun and the stun from Sejuani, you've got the stun from the Brand and the root from Lux. Absolutely you need the cleanse, especially on a champion like Vayne, where stopping moving is one of the most detrimental parts to her kit as a whole. If she cannot move and cannot attack, she cannot do anything. And that sounds like something that's applicable to every champion, but that's not true. Right? You can still cast spells when you're rooted. You can still take damage if you're a tank, but the way Vayne is designed is she has to be moving or she's not accomplishing anything. So I like the cleanse. I like the drafts here. I can't say I love the Teemo because I hate that champion with all my heart, except for the parts of my heart that are reserved for hating Quinn and Yasuo. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how the drafts are actually quite exciting.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think maybe in your heart of hearts, you can see that the Teemo took Ignite, that he's going to try to not just be there to annoy you, but to actually trying to take map pressure. I do think that there is a use for Teemo. Talk about champions that we haven't seen as much. And yeah, I think he's kind of fun to hate too. So certainly.
2 points I want to bring up. Number one, 4 teleports across the map, 3 of which are on the Poro-Snax. The collapsibility of this team, in addition to the Kled, can be really strong.
Yeah, it's certainly no Shen. It's certainly no global ultimates, but it might as well be. It's very close to be able to collapse on an objective like that. This is kind of one of those teams that like you hit the dragon one time and you see 3 teleports come down right next to you, and you're like, oh, I messed up. My apologies. There's a lot of pressure on Lux to have some good vision in order to make those kind of plays.
Absolutely. Point number 2. I have been playing this little game called Loldo. It's like Wordle, but with League of Legends. And it claims that Maokai is strictly support now. Now, is that because they only list 1 role per champion? No, because there are some that are mid support top. There are others that are jungle top support, right? So they do mix them. And Maokai is set exclusively at support. How do we feel about Kodo Draco piloting in the jungle here?
I think if The days that Maokai's are consigned to support are sad days indeed. I think Maokai is most exciting in top lane, first of all, but
Thank you.
yeah, of course. Jungle, it's very interesting because you have that vision. Think you already have the Teemo shrooms, you already have the support putting out wards, and then you also have the saplings that are running around, not just for vision but also the slows that are preventing response times. Now, of course, Poro-Snax has all the teleports, but in an environment where you are jungling, you can get that little piece of information. You can put a cheeky little deep sapling on the red buff of the enemy team, and then suddenly, like, you know where the jungler is. You don't have to start predicting on all that. I think maybe his clear speed might be a little slow, which is why we don't see too many jungles. And I just kind of wish that wasn't such a hindrance on junglers. Because he's kind of exciting to see. He's got a nice kit for ganks.
Yeah.
Especially early.
So it was the purple helmet that gave you burn damage and your ability power per hit point. What was that thing called?
Oh man, I got adaptive helm in my head and I can't get it out. So
No,
I don't
it's
think
not
I'll be
that
much help
one.
there.
Level 1 Bidoof in the chat usually remembers these types of things, so he'll hit us up in the chat. But regardless, I think that's the item that made everybody too strong in the jungle when Maokai was super, super prevalent there. But Team Unknown versus Poro-Snax, game number 2 is underway. We already... Wait, is that a tier start on Lux?
That is, in fact, a tier start on Lux. That is not a support item.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we're seeing some incredibly aggressive support down there. They're going to be low on gold early, but maybe this is how you babysit Smolder. Is you say, sorry, I'm. In order to get the money, we need money in stacks of 300, please.
Brand is trying to light Bristol's tail on fire.
Having a bit too much fun before the game begins.
Game number 2 is underway, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see some love in the chat. We got TU win or PS win. Let us know what you think. And Shazbot, let me know what you think. Where is our first real fight gonna be?
I think it's going to be topside. I think Kled's going to hit level 2. He's going to engage on the Teemo, and Teemo's going to have a bad time. I think it's just as simple as that. I hope it's as simple as that.
I've got a couple of fun little things from the Twitch chat here. Is we have Proden saying Lux already has tiers, and that's hilarious. But then we have Brizabel saying Poro-Snax win.
What? That's not okay. What? Okay.
A little bit of trading here on the bottom side. TTV does get caught with the snare, but it's not too bad yet. These minions are going to start stacking up, and that'll give Jude a great opportunity to land those Qs and start stacking up on the Smolder.
Right. It's something that they're getting pushed off on level 2 because they don't have stats on the Lux. Yeah, that's the famous thing with tier is if you buy tier, mana doesn't actually give you any damage, and so they're kind of suffering a little bit here. I was hoping to see maybe a strategy they had cooked up where they were landing more of those spells, but it doesn't appear to be the case, and they're getting pushed off those minions because of it. Level 3 already on the bot lane. Team Unknown just showing their bot lane prowess very, very quickly.
It occurs to me that we've got 2 infinite stackers. Flash from Jude. Oh, Calavir caught almost underneath the turret. Another flash. That's 2 flashes out of the Poro-Snax bot lane already, only 3.5 minutes in.
There's the no more health pots. What you see is what you get. They are very, very low on both sides, both enemy teams. Wow. Very, very scary. Now, Calavir's already got quite the HP lead on Smolder, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead yet.
Whichever jungler makes it to the bottom lane first should be quite pleased with what they see. It does appear that Server Panda is on the way. Gonna stop by the Scuttle Crab, but I think you gank first.
Yeah, I think if you're Sejuani, like your engage for team fights might not be legendary, but your Q is very, very good for closing that gap. And as juicy as bot side is, seeing a ghost away from the brand, running away from the very, very scary Syndra. Not like you see in
Maokai
others.
Maokai ganked from the top side of the lane near the turret.
Man, we missed that fight. That would have been exciting.
Yeah, but we
Dismounted
were ready
Kled
for
is
the.
not
Oh
good.
boy. Kodo Draco makes his way bottom side. He is spotted out with that ward. Good work from the Poro-Snax spotting that out. And now we see why TTV really wanted that tier so early on.
Yeah, certainly. Because she's already out of mana. As Lux, it's tough to get that sustain. Now the support item does have a certain amount of mana regen caked in, if I remember. But yeah, it's certainly tough, and it's even more tough because they're getting pushed out of the lane. Kiroro taking the turret
Kiroro
shot.
spotted it. He spotted the Lux backing and throws out the root.
Oh, so rude. So rude. But life goes on. They get a recall and they reset and they go from there. Really starting to fall behind on the CS on the bot side. They might not have any kills, but you can roughly equate 20 minion kills to a kill. So they are basically a kill up already.
Big damage coming out of bad guy Teemo here, and running Fleet Footwork I think was a very wise choice. You know, that's how you survive the trading that Kled can do even very early in the game.
Yeah, and y'all, if you're ever not confident about a Teemo matchup, all you need to do is build Doran Shield, and maybe consider second wind, because it's always a rough matchup to get poked out. But if you have Doran Shield, most of that damage is being ignored. So that Doran's Blade is really, really hurting the Kled up in the top side.
Death gonna get the stun on the Trash Lord, just trading in the mid lane, and now Techion has a chance to catch up a little bit in the CS department up on the top side. Meanwhile, we go right back down to bottom where Kiroro is taking shot after shot from TTV. Calavir tumbles in. They have Kodo Draco here. Flashes are still unavailable. Barrier is popped. They are both going to get rooted. Flash from TTV jumps him out somehow. That was really weird.
Rooted.
And Kodo Draco, he takes one more door shot. That's first blood to Jude on the side of the Poro-Snax.
Well done. That was a perfect route from Lux. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Hold it until it matters most. Oh no, a Trash Lord falls. Syndra hits level 6 and does a lot of damage. Uh-oh.
Jude getting caught underneath the turret again, but Kiroro has no ultimate, which means Jude can go back. That kill, that 300 gold investment, or rather injection, is very good. Bad guy Teemo is running away. Techion knows not to chase into the brushes. Look at that control.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Techion. I really just feel like it's some minor things. I think he should play.
He goes in. Bad guy Teemo is taking the minion aggro. Techion does get blinded, meaning he can't trade right back, but he is playing very smart, very reserved and controlled. Death stole the big chicken.
Oh no. Death.
He took it from over the wall.
No. It's so rude, man. Team Unknown is just playing for blood today. But it's one of those things like to go back to the Techion. Like I really just think that a couple more rounds of matchup, maybe a little bit of insight onto what the Teemo is thinking at this time, and yeah, I think that could be a very scary Kled against this Teemo.
He is gonna get those minions there. I think there are about 6 more, so it put him just about one way behind, which isn't too bad, all things considered. When you look at what Teemo does to most opponents, I think that Techion's doing quite well against it. And still, bad guy Griffin, you are the bad guy here. I don't want you to ever forget that. But Team Unknown is able to pick up the first Drake, a few extra souls to Kiroro, and this up. We missed it because we were looking at the dragon. Poor Kled.
Poor Kled. Poor Kled. But Dragon gets taken for Team Unknown. That is a large amount of injection on their side. Top and mid lane going to the side of Team
Jude's
Unknown.
in trouble. He has to flash right as it comes off of cooldown. Kodo Draco is there on the timer. Great communication from Team Unknown.
Kiroro is just landing all of these roots with Senna. I'm sorry for doubting anyone in the PLC environment for not being able to play Senna, but Senna's being piloted very, very well today.
Absolutely. And by Kiroro, when we were talking about Senna originally, you were talking about how Calavir would be doing that, but the support Senna, do we see? I wonder. It is.
Right.
It's the full support Senna with that amplifying tone.
Right. With the new AP scaling, and it's kind of exciting to see. Might be a bit too strong. More death in the mid lane. Our poor cameraman is having to run overtime with all of the fights happening where we can't see them, and no fault of their own, because it happens fast and it happens quick with Syndra.
Absolutely. And like you said, once you hit level 6 with Syndra, you have a I win the game button.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
so much damage. It has very good range, especially if you've been landing those dark spheres. Just around, you get to throw every single one of them at your opponent. But Poro-Snax might be setting up for something here on the bottom side. Server Panda has made his way down to the Grump.
Yeah, very low amount of jungle presence this game, if I might say myself. Seems to be more focused on the grubs and the dragon as they trade back and forth. This is a much closer game for Poro-Snax, being able to slow things down and do what I was alluding to at the beginning of the game. Poor Kled falling to the Teemo, the demon of top lane, and Teemo deciding to stay after that one rather than recall with 100 health, because he sees the jungle on the bot side. They're fighting bot
Roro
side.
gets caught. A lot of damage there. Jude throws down the ultimate, but he needs to be careful. They're chasing too far. In comes Maokai. The Bramble Forest does pick him up. Kodo Draco dodges out the ultimate from Sejuani. Calavir will be the next target, but no, Server Panda got left all alone. Death is going to land the stun. He's going to get more damage. No kill onto TTV. Death caught underneath the turret, hit with the ultimate, but it's not enough. They just left Server Panda to die on the hands of Team Unknown.
You hate to see it. He was being piloted pretty well too, but yeah, I guess they just said, well, see you later, we want to try to live, and they don't end up living.
Speaking of see you later, Trash Lord goes down. Caliver picks that one up, and somehow TTV was still here from the first fight. Jude is walking, trying to get to his turret. Does he have the damage? He doesn't. Kiroro stays alive, and that's a double kill for Death in the mid lane on the bottom side of the map, and we have just begun the chaos that is a typical Team Unknown game.
Wow, talk about streamer curse at 11 minutes, and everything falls apart for Poro-Snax.
Oh, the teleport from Death! They knock him off of Scarl. They have the ignited. Death goes unstoppable.
Things go from bad to worse and worser. It's just terrible. Being left for the Sejuani, getting picked off when they were running away, getting picked off running back to lane. Just the teleport coming in. It's just something you don't like to see. Taking the scuttle with them.
Taking the crab and the void grub. Server Panda has to jump away. Trash Lord and Server cannot stand against 3. Grubs evened out 3-1 at the moment, but will it be 3-3? Trash Lord is looking for a fight. Server Panda is disconnected a little bit. Techion has arrived, as has TTV. They get the slow onto Death, and they do not engage.
Yeah, I feel like fear has been instilled into Poro-Snax, and who can blame them after the quick turn of events. The stun lands on her, huge amount of damage on her.
Root on the Kodo Draco. TTV is running, makes it out alive. Death on the chase. Laser. No flash from TTV. Death wants to go in once again, popping Sejuani's passive. Kiroro joins the mid lane fight, gets some healing. No stun from Death. Underneath the turret, they do get the sapling. No, TTV is too close. Meanwhile, Techion is super low. Death gets another kill. Trash Lord goes underneath the turret. He is still alive. Kodo Draco dives under the second tier turret. That's a double kill for Death because of it. The stun lands, but it's not enough damage. Trash Lord is still alive. Does he survive this? Death goes under the turret, has to flash away. Kodo Draco flashes as well. He goes untargetable with the W. And there we go. Team Unknown up 14-1.
Man, Death really living up to his namesake again. And just everywhere he goes, there's a wake of bodies that follow. Certainly Team Unknown coming out of the woodwork, trying to state their place. Now, something that I want to notice with Poro-Snax is their willingness to continue to engage anyways.
Here's
as
another
more
one.
fights break out.
TTV tries to get the root onto Kiroro, doesn't land. Server Panda is the next one in. Third auto attack lands, just needs one more to get the stun onto Kiroro. He is knocked back by Kodo Draco. Jude has jumped forward, trying to get the damage. Mom comes out, not enough damage. Calavir has joined the fight, and Poro-Snax have decided it is their time to leave.
Yeah, they're big clumped up in a big ball, trying to keep each other alive. More damage coming out, but for the most part, I think this fight will diffuse a little bit. Top lanes are being a little bit of an island. Drake is going to be taken as the teams start to reset and try to reconfigure what they are. This Smolder right now should be hitting some breaking. Oh man, huge damage on the brand.
Breaking points indeed as Trash Lord walks away with 0 health. Tachyon under the turret. Turret goes down as well. Death Legendary and Bad Guy Teemo still the bad guy as another set of kills on the bottom side. Death picks up 1. Calavir another. Server Panda might be in some trouble. Kiroro is starting the engage here. No root, but the stun from Death from over the wall is enough. Server Panda does get the stun onto Kodo Draco, but to no avail.
Yeah, things are not looking good for Poro-Snax at this point. A huge amount of gold that has been injected into the mid laner and a little bit of the Vayne. 2 names that you don't want to see with a whole bunch of money. This is the kind of state that, you know, Syndra goes back and could buy a Magi's and it'd just be over at this point. Trying not to invoke the Magi's curse, of course, but...
it's a double cursing. They cancel each other out. Caster curse, Magi's curse.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so...
Oh, that was almost a steal. Jude goes in. Oh, Tachyon has cast the ultimate. Kodo Draco is caught on the backside. He wants to jump in onto Jude. He is able to pick up the kill with the assistance of Kiroro. Bad Guy Teemo and Calavir are here as well. Death teleported in on the backside and helps wipe out Poro-Snax. That is an ace for nothing, and Team Unknown have a huge play in the jungle.
Man, I remember when this game was just 2-1, and oh, how things have fallen since then. Team Unknown not wasting any time, immediately snapping to the turrets, pushing their victory, pushing towards the victory, I should say. We have Jude back up online, but stepping too close, and immediately the Maokai locks in on him and picks him apart.
Tree beats dragon. Who thought? That's actually silly. You would think that the fire would beat the tree, but Kodo Draco says, nah, bro.
Not these trees, not these trees.
Is that why the scorched Maokai skin exists? Is because fire doesn't beat that tree?
You know, that is a kind of a terrifying idea. You know, you burn the tree and the tree stands up and looks at you. You know, I'm going to be looking at that skin for a little bit differently in the future. Many turrets went down in that play. The bear, not Baron yet. It is just the Rift Herald at this point has been pinged as Poro-Snax is looking for a way to not lose this game. Very risky for them to be positioned in the top lane jungle at this point, as there are super minions on the map, and they're very scary champions and no turrets to protect them.
I want to see a little bit of vision control coming out of the Poro-Snax. They have the right ideas, but they have no coverage, right? Jude should have been there, but not with that little coverage. Barrier immediately dispelled by an auto attack. Jude goes down. Calavir is godlike at this point. And TTV has shown up to try and help his bot lane companion. Bad Guy Teemo getting some damage down. Watch for Death. Gets the stun. Bad Guy Teemo on a rampage. They knock Tachyon off of Scarro. He's racing underneath the turret. Trash Lord tries to give him some cover. Bad Guy Teemo stunned underneath the turret. They get the knockup. One more turret shot is not quite enough. Kodo Draco goes on a rampage with the ultimate catching on the backside and shut down. Trash Lord picks up 1. Death throws the ultimate. That's an easy double kill. Do we see the triple? Jude is throwing down some damage with the flap, jumping away. Death goes underneath the turret. Gets the triple kill for himself. TTV shows up, misses the root, and goes for the ultimate. Deals a little bit of damage, but has no items. TTV goes down underneath the fountain, and Team Unknown come out swinging. Game number 2 goes their way.
Yeah, just an excellent showing from Team Unknown. The fight continues to go. They're not going quietly into that good night. And They continue to fight. Death was legendary. And
I thought that was
Cavalier's
the end of the game.
legendary. You know what? That's okay. We pick it up from there and go from there. That's all okay. Teemo died, and that's what's important.